All right, let's start. Standing up. Oh, you know what else I have to do? Sorry, to pin myself so I can, so you guys see me. There we go. All right, I'm just gonna do our little Tai Chi at first. Let your heels lift. Take your hands from side to side. Your body starts to open up. Here we're going to go into our skiers. Now in the skiers, right, you want to take your feet about hip width distance apart. You're going to take your hands up to the sky. You're going to bend your knees, send your hips back and down. Put your belly all the way on your thighs, but keep looking forward. Push the glutes back, right? That way your legs are starting to wake up. And then you're going to come all the way up, push through your feet. Use your core, bring yourself all the way back up. Standing, arms up high. And then you come back down. Right, so we're going to do that 8 more times. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. All right, now let your hands go back down. Now you're going to take your feet out super wide as your mat. Take your hands up to the sky, lengthen everything out. What you're going to do from here is bring your left hand to your right ankle, right hand up to the sky. So everything stays straight. Trying to stretch, elongate those muscles. But we're also working the core, right? So what happens when your back stays flat and your legs stay straight? You have to use your core to bring yourself up and down. So now it's starting to wake up. That's what we want here. All right, we're just going to do 2 more each side. 1, 2. Now bring everything up here. Let your hands float down. Now that we're here, right, you're going to turn your heels in and your toes out. And then keep your legs wide, but bend down into that squat. Right, so you just look like this. Now take your arms up. Bring them to cactus arms. That means your elbows are even with your shoulders. We're just going to tilt from side to side here a couple times. So you're going to drop down, bring your right elbow towards your right thigh. Keep your arms in that cactus position, right? So you're still one straight line from elbow to elbow. Your elbows are still even with your shoulders the whole time. Tilt the other way. Come back. And just go back and forth here, back and forth. Rock and low. Saying that because I'm finding myself coming up, right? Keep dropping that tailbone. 3 more each way. 3, 3, 2, 2, and then last one. 1, and then 1. All right, now push through your feet, come all the way up, reach your hands up high. Now let your hands come to your sides, turn your toes forward, bring your feet back to hip width, and then you're going to bring yourself all the way down to the mat. Right, so you can cross your feet and bend at the ankles. You can just lift your heels and drop straight down. Right, try not to drop a hand like I just did. Right, or you can drop one knee at a time. All right, so come all the way down here. In to our hook line scoops at first just to warm up a little bit more. So from here, you've got your knees up to the sky, your feet on the ground. You're going to take your arms out long, make fists with your hands, pull your elbows to your ribs, and then tuck your chin, look down at your belly, keep your chin tucked and round it down just to that icky place where the Belly's tightening. You don't want to stay here. You want to go down or up, right? Your body's like, what are we doing? We're not hanging out here. Where are they going all the way down or all the way up? We're going to come back up, right? So as you come up, lift your chin up off your chest. Look just a little bit towards the ceiling, kind of towards the horizon line. Push your belly to your thighs, and then come back down. Tuck your chin to your chest. Roll down. Come back up. Down. And up. All right, so we're going to do that 8 more times. Keep your elbows glued to your ribs the whole time. So the core is doing the work. Tuck your chin on the way down. Lift it on the way up. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. And now this time as you come all the way up, let your hands hug around your knees, tuck your chin to your chest, drive your forehead toward your knees. All right, so we're gonna do a little warm up here. It's gonna work every part of our core, right? So I want you to come around into a tabletop. That's that hands and knees pose. All right, and then you're gonna bring yourself, I'm gonna come over here sideways so you guys can see my whole body. Come into a down dog, right? So you're lifting your hips up and back. Now, this doesn't have to be a perfect down dog like we do in yoga, right? Maybe your feet are a little closer, a little further. What you wanna be able to do, right, from this down dog is if you shift forward, your shoulders come right over your wrists, right? And your legs are long, right? So push back to down dog. Now, if you shift forward and your shoulders are going way past your wrists, then you're a little too short with your stance, right? You need to lengthen it out. If you're doing this and you're still having to reach towards your hands, then your stance is a little too long. Right? To find that perfect place, and then bring it into your down dog. Now, what you're going to do from your down dog, right? We're going to shift forward and come to that plank. And then you're going to bend into your knees so they're just hovering the ground. Once your knees are hovering the ground, push back, let your shoulders come back behind your wrists, right? And you're pushing your hips back, so you're in this little crouch, right? From there, come back to plank. Now this time as you come back to plank, you're gonna lower yourself down to your belly, right? So maybe you have to drop your knees first, right? Or maybe you take your elbows out to the sides as you lower. Maybe you take them straight back and a little tricep push up, but come all the way down to your belly, right? Make it a little bit controlled, so you're not just flopping down. And once you get back there, or down there, I should say, right now we're gonna take our hands, we're gonna sweep them back behind us. Your fingertips are gonna reach towards your toes, and you're gonna lift into a locust. So your chest peels up off the mat, your shoulders, your head off the mat. Tighten up your quads so your feet and your knees come up off the mat, and you're here in this full locust. Now for your locust, let your feet come down to the ground. Keep your chest up. See if you can bring your hands right to your chest. All right, so now your hands are right by your chest, not up here by your shoulders, not back here by your waist. Bring them right by your chest and push your arms straight. Come back to your tabletop. Right? So from your tabletop, you're going to tuck your toes under, lift your hips up and back, come in that down dog. Right? So that's our whole little sequence. We're going to do that whole sequence a couple more times. It's going to warm up your core, it's going to warm up your belly, it's going to warm up your legs, it's going to warm up your back. You're going to shift forward into plank, bend your knees so they hover the mat, push back to that crouch. Come back into plank, lower all the way down to your belly. Untuck your toes, sweep your hands back behind you, lift up into your locust. From your locust, let your feet come to the ground, bring your hands by your chest, push it back up into tabletop. All right, so let's do that one more time. You're here in your tabletop. You're going to tuck your toes under, lift your hips up and back, come to down dog. Shift it to plank. Take your knees, let them hover the mat. Push back into that crouch. Come back to plank. Lower it all the way down to your belly. Lift your toes, sweep your hands back behind you, lift up into locust. And let your feet come down. Bring your hands to your chest. Push back up to tabletop. Right, I just decided we're going to do that one more time, right? So we're in tabletop. You're going to tuck your toes under. Lift your hips up and back. Shift it forward into your plank. Hover your knees. Push it back to your crouch. Take it all the way forward back into your plank. Lower it all the way down to the mat. And tuck your toes. So hands back behind you. Lift up. Locust. Drop your feet. Bring your hands to your chest. Push back up. Tabletop. All right, this time, as you get up to your tabletop, let your hips drop to one side or the other. Swing your legs around in front of you, right? And we're gonna come onto our back. So come back to where you were before. You've got your feet up to the sky. You're gonna reach your arms out long, tuck your chin to your chest. Take it all the way down. As we come down here, right, you wanna bring your legs straight up to the sky, right? And your hands can be at your sides, right? They can be in that little W where you bring your thumbs underneath your low back and your fingertips point towards the glutes if that's what you need, right? Or, right, you can bring your fingertips behind your head, let your elbows go out wide and lift your head and shoulders, right? This is gonna be a little bit harder if you keep your head and shoulders lifted the whole time. If you wanna keep your head and shoulders on the ground, right, that's always an option. You can just be here, like I said, or you can be here with your hands at your sides, or you can be giving yourself that little low back support. You guys probably want to know what we're actually going to do before you decide. That's okay, right? So we're going to come here into a floating table. And that means your knees are over your hips, your calves are parallel to the ground, your feet are flexed like you're going to step up to the ceiling, right? And then you're going to take your right leg, push it all the way straight, bring it as low as you can so your heel's hovering the ground, right? And then you're going to pull that right leg back in. Now do the same with your left leg. Push it all the way straight, heel hovers the ground. Bring it back in. Right? Now do both legs. Push them both out straight. And then bring them back in. Right, so we're gonna do that little sequence a couple more times, right? It goes right leg long, back in, left leg long, back in, both legs long, back in. Right leg long, back in, left leg long, back in, both legs long, back in. Couple more times. Right leg, in. Left leg, in. Both legs, in. One more time. Right leg, pull it in. Left leg, pull it in. Both legs, pull them in. All right, now you're gonna let your head and shoulders come down. Take your arms out to a T. It means your arms are out wide, like wings, that T position. Move over a little bit here so I have space. All right, so we're here. Now, from here, your feet are gonna go straight up to the sky. Right? Now you look like this. Now what's gonna happen here, right, you're gonna take your right leg, drop it towards the ground till your heel hovers the ground. The lower you go, the harder this is, right? So you can hover just barely, or you can take it a little higher if you need to, right? Now, your left palm, left shoulder are gonna stay anchored to the mat. You're gonna peel up with your right hand, reach your right fingertips towards your left toes. Maybe you touch, but probably not, it's all good, right? And then let your head come back down, let your right shoulder and palm come back down. Pull that right leg all the way up. Drop your left leg down. Peel the left arm up. Reach your left fingertips towards your right foot. Now see how my left shoulder is off the ground. You gotta peel that left shoulder all the way up the ground. That's the move. Even if you don't get to your toes, it's okay. But make sure that shoulder gets off the ground. When we come back down, we drop the left hand, we lift the left leg. All right, so we're gonna alternate here. Drop your right heel, peel the right arm up. Right hand down and the right leg up. Drop the left heel, hover it to the ground, peel the left arm up. Lift the left leg, drop the left arm. Go to the right, right leg drops, right arm lifts. Take it all back down, pull the right leg up. Left leg drops, left arm lifts. Peel it all up, drop the left arm. A couple more times, each side. Arm reaches. Left arm reaches. We're gonna do twice more each side. Arm reaches. Left arm reaches. One more time. Right arm reaches. And left arm reaches. Now, pull everything back up here. Now, from here, right, we're gonna bend into the knees again. And we're gonna come back to where we were. You can bring your fingertips behind your head. You can stay right here. You can lift your head and shoulders, or you can keep your hands at your sides, or with that little W hands with the thumbs under the low back, right? You decide what you need here. Now, what we're gonna do from here, right? You're gonna take your legs straight up to the sky. If you start with the legs straight up to the sky, drop the right heel till it hovers, right? And then pull it back up. Drop the left heel till it hovers. Pull it back up. Just do that a couple times. Right leg, left leg. Right leg, left leg. Right? And now see if as you pull that left leg up, you can start to drop the right leg down, right? So they cross in the middle instead of when they're both straight up overhead. Right? If that feels like too much, go back to what you were doing and just do them one at a time. All right, 3 more each way here. 3, 3, 2, 1, and 1. Right now, pull that left leg all the way up. Let your head and shoulders come down for a second if you haven't lifted. Take a little break. Maybe take your arms overhead. Lengthen them out. Now from here, we're going to move both legs together. We're going to do 2 different things, right? So you're bringing your fingertips behind your head again. You can lift your head and shoulders for this part. You can keep your head and shoulders down. What we're going to do first, your legs are straight up to the sky. You're going to drop them both into that floating table. And then you're going to kick them both forward. You're going to bring them all the way up. And back to floating table, right? It's like a little scoop. Push your legs straight, take them all the way up, drop them to floating table. Take them straight, bring them all the way up, to the floating table. We're gonna do 3 more here. Last one. All right, now, take your legs all the way up again. We're gonna do that same thing again, right? And we're gonna reverse directions. All right, so this time, again, you can lift your head and shoulders, you can keep your head and shoulders down. Hands can be with your fingertips behind your neck, or you can have your hands at your sides, right? But this time, we're gonna drop our legs all the way straight down. Pull them into floating table, and then kick them up to the sky. So it's the reverse of what we just did. We drop them all the way down, scoop them into floating table, take them straight back up to the sky. All the way down, into floating table, straight up to the sky. All right, 3 more here. 3, 2, last one. Now let your head and shoulders come down. Let your hands come to your sides. And now bend into your knees, pull them all the way to your chest. And drop those feet to the ground. All right, now from here, right, we're gonna go into our bicycles, basically, right? That's what you know them as if you do a lot of Pilates. It's basically the same thing that we were just doing in a lot of ways, except that we're gonna be using our obliques because we're gonna go from side to side. So let me show you the options here, right? You're gonna take your fingertips behind your head, keep your head and shoulders down for now, right? Now, here's your first option. You bring your legs to floating table, right? You take the right leg, kick it all the way straight to the left heel's hovering. We're gonna peel up the right shoulder and bring the right shoulder towards the left knee. Left shoulder, left elbow, stay anchored to the ground. And we come back down, we pull the right leg in, send the left leg long, we peel the left shoulder up, bring it towards the right knee. The right shoulder and the right elbow anchored, right? If you wanna do it like that, you can. If you wanna make this more, right? Then you start with your feet straight up to the sky. Drop that right heel down till it hovers. You lift that right shoulder up, still bringing the right shoulder towards the left knee. Come back down, pull your right leg up, drop your left leg down, peel the left shoulder up towards the right knee. Right? So you decide here what you want to do. Do you want to be straight-legged, or do you want to do it from floating tables? Right? You do a lot of Pilates because floating tables what you're used to. Those classic bicycles. It's the same thing the other way, just with a straight leg, a little bit more challenging. Okay. So we're going to do 8 more on each side. 8, 8, 7, 7, 6, 6, 9, 4, 3, 2, 1, and 1. All right, let your head and shoulders come down. Keep your knees, head them into your chest. Now what we're going to do next, right? Kind of like we used to work with the stability balls. We do the ball transfers, right? We're going to do that, except, right? We're going to do it without a ball. Now, if you have a block or something handy, right? You could always do this with a block, right? But if you don't have one, you don't have to use it, right? I'll show you what it looks like with a block in a second. But right now, we're just going to do it, right, without. So you're going to take your feet up to the sky, right? Separate them slightly, like you're holding something between them. Right? Your arms are going to go straight up ahead, overhead, reaching back behind you, right? Now, you're going to lift your hands up toward your feet. So you're peeling your head and shoulders up off the mat, right? And whatever was there, right, whether it was a ball or a block, pretend like you now brought it into your hands, right? So now you're holding it in your hands. You're going to let those feet go all the way. Take your arms overhead. Now, you don't want either of them to touch the ground. Don't let your hands touch the ground. Don't let your feet touch the ground all the way, right? And you're going to pull back up. It's like you transferred now the object feet. And same thing. You can go back down. Up and down here, up and down, right? I'll show you what it looks like. I'm actually holding a block right here. Yep. Here. It's here. Like I said, you can do this without anything in your hands or your feet, right? And you're just doing the motions going up and down. Now, if this is hard, right? Here's some modifications. You don't have to go all the way down. You can be like here with your feet, right? And then you bring them back up. So you can just be here, a little shorter. You can bend your knees on the way up if you need to, right? And kick them straight. It's hard for a lot of people to bring their legs straight up when they're straight, right? So find your space, and whatever you're gonna do, we're gonna do it 5 more times. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right, let your head and shoulders come down. Hug them all the way into your chest. Try to rock side to side here a couple times. That. Massage in your low back. We've been on the back for a while. We got a couple more things to do on our back before we come up again. Make it feel good. All right, now you're going to take your feet up to the sky here. And then you're going to take your hands, reach them forward, lift your head and shoulders up off the mat. So you're just reaching forward, right? Take your feet slightly wider. And then you're going to bring your feet around, right? So you're going to draw that right foot in front of the left, right? So now your right heel is facing your left toes, right? And then bring it back so they're in that slight position. Take it the other way. Now your left heel is facing your right toes, right? So just want you to do that a couple times. Twist in the legs. One more each way. And then come to a stop, let your feet come together, let your head and shoulders come to the ground. All right, so hopefully you guys got that movement. You should feel it in your belly. You should feel it on the sides of your bellies as you twist those feet slightly, right? As long as your head and shoulders stay lifted. And modification is to leave your head down and just keep your shoulders and your fingertips lifted, right? It'll make it a little easier. You gotta keep those shoulders and those fingertips elevated so you're still engaged in the core, kind of like when we do the hundreds, right? All right, so let's do it again, right? This time, you're gonna take it, so you're gonna twist so that you're bringing that right heel to face the left heel. Now, you're gonna keep that space between your legs so you're not drawing them together, right? Keep them separated. But let both legs drop now till that left heel just covers the mat. Then pull them back up. Right now, switch it out. Let your left heel point towards your right toes. Again, you're gonna drop down till your right heel hovers the mat. Pull them back up. And twist. Do it again. Right foot in front. Drop the left heel till it hovers. Pull them both back up. And twist. Twist again the other way. Right heel till it hovers. Pull them up. And twist. All right, we're going to do that 3 more times on each side. So first right leg comes towards you. Drop the left heel. Bring them up. And twist. Get the left heel to come towards you. Drop. Bring them up. And twist. Bring the right leg towards you. Drop. Pull them up. And twist. Left leg comes towards you. Drop. Pull them up. Just 1 more time each side. Bring the right leg towards you. Drop. Pull them up. Untwist. Bring the left leg towards you. Drop. Pull them up. Untwist. Let your head and shoulders come down. Now bend into your knees. Hug your knees into your chest. Now, last thing we're going to do here on our back for the time being. You're going to take both legs up to the sky. And then take them as wide as you can. Right? Oof, I don't have much space. Over here, I'm taking our legs out. Nice and long. Right? And now, what you're going to do from here, your arms go overhead, so they're back behind you. Right? And you're going to peel your head and shoulders up like that. Reach your hands forward. Just reach your hands in between your legs. My head and shoulders are lifted. My fingertips are reaching straight towards the top of the mat. Keep your legs where they are. Just let your head and shoulders come all the way down. Reach those hands all the way back behind you. All right, so we're going to do that 10 more times. 10. 9. 8. 7. 6. 5. 4. 3. 2. 1. All right, now, here's what we're going to do. You're going to peel up. Your legs are still asleep. As you peel up, the left leg, what you're going to do is bring your left hand outside your left thigh and your right hand just the inside of your right thigh. Like you can touch your hands together behind that left thigh, right? Maybe you can, maybe you can't. Put your hands on either side of that left leg. Then you're going to come up. Now you're going to straighten back out, right? So as you lay back down, your arms are going straight back behind you. We're going to stay on the left side. Do that 10 more times. Okay? 10. 9. 8. 7. 6. 5. 4. 3. 2. 1. All right, now we're just going to do that 1 more time on the left side. I'm going to take my legs together, right, and just bring them to my chest for a breath. Right, you can do that or not. If your thighs are starting to get tired, they should be, right, because you've been here for a while. And then take your legs straight back up, open them up again. Right, try to keep those legs, you don't want them to go way down so your back's arching, right? Try to keep them straight up to the sky so your heels are pointing straight up to the sky. All right, now we're going to do the other side. So you're going to lift your head and shoulders up. Take your right hand outside your right thigh. Bring that left hand to the inside of your right thigh. Right? So give it a little clap if you wanted to. If you come back down, you come down straight, arms overhead. So let's do that 10 more times on the right. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. All right, now bring your legs together. Now you're going to bend your knees, bring them to your chest. Take your hands down to the crease of your knees. We're going to rock ourselves all the way up. Get off the back for a while. Right? So once you come all the way up here, now we're going to come around into tabletop. So that's that hands and knees pose, shoulders over the wrists, hips over the knees. So we're going to do a little core strengthener here from our tabletop. You're going to take your right leg, extend it long behind you. Right? So your right toes are pointed towards the ground, your right knees pointed towards the ground. Take your left hand now and reach it forward. So your left palm's open towards the right side of the room. Left thumbs up to the sky. Right, now kick your right leg to the right. Take your left hand, sweep it to the left. So you're in this awkward pose, right? Come back through spinal balance. Just do that twice more. Open up, bring it back. Open up, bring it back. Now this time when we come back, we're going to do those crunches. So you're going to bend your left elbow, bend your right knee, touch them together under your chest. Tuck your chin to your chest as they touch, watch them touch, and then look up, take it right back to spinal balance. Right, so let's do that 3 more times. 3, 2, 1. Here, now you're going to stand to the knee, bring your right hand towards your right glute, lift that right knee high. Sweep your left hand back, right? Reach your left hand towards your right ankle. Maybe you can grab a hold of it, right? Maybe not. If you're not grabbing it, you just look like this. Right? Either way, you're lifting that right knee up as high as you can. Now take your chin and your gaze up towards the ceiling as much as you can. So making a little bit of a back bend. Just hold for 2 breaths. Okay, even if you're here. And then take it back through spinal balance. Kick that right leg long again. Sweep your left hand back forward. And then drop it all down into tabletop. All right? So, if you want to here, shift back to child's pose. Get off the wrist for a second. If it feels okay, you stay right there on tabletop. We're going to do the other side. So when you're ready, you're going to come back to tabletop. Right now, from our tabletop here, we're going to take the left leg, extend it long, left heel towards the ground, toes towards the ground, left knee towards the ground. Take your right hand, reach right palm towards the left side of the room, right thumb up to the sky. You're awkward here. Kick that left leg out to the left, like you're going to kick yourself in the side of the head. Sweep your right arm out to the right. Right, so keep your left shoulder right over your left wrist, your right hip right over your right knee. Bring it all back. Straight spinal balance, and then do it twice more. Sweep it all open. Take it back to spinal balance. Sweep it all open. Take it back to spinal balance. All right, let's add our crunches here. Bend into your right elbow, bend into your left knee. Touch them together under your chest. Tuck your chin to your chest. We're watching everything come together. And then open it all the way back up. Breathe twice more. Crunch. Open it back up. Crunch. Open it back up. Now this time we open all the way back up. Bend into your left knee. Bring your left heel to your left glute. Sweep your right hand back. Right, so you're trying to lift your left knee as high as you can. You can grab a hold of your left ankle with your right hand. That's great. If you can't, just reach back there. Right. Kick that left knee up as high as you can. Take your chin off your chest, push your chest forward, kind of look up. And this little back bend. Take 2 breaths here. Double knees, left leg, arm long, and drop it all down. Into tabletop. And this time, as we get to tabletop, right? Now you're gonna let your hips come to one side or the other. Swing your legs around in front of you. Now here, we're gonna come with our legs super wide on the mat, right? So we're just sitting right now. All right, take your hands, reach them straight up to the sky. Lengthen out your spine. Now we're gonna go a little tick-tock here, right? Just like we did when we're in this position and standing, right? You're gonna reach your left fingertips over towards your right toes. Now your right hand can wrap around behind your back. You do this, you keep it reaching up to the sky. Keep that left hip on the ground, right? Don't lift it up, you're not coming here. Right? If you don't reach your toes, it's okay. Right now, you're gonna use the core, bring everything back up. So you're just lengthening out again. Now go the other way. Just reaching those right fingertips towards the left toes. Come back up, right? Just a little tick-tock here. 3 more. 3. 3. 2. 2. 1. Back up. All right, now from here, you're going to take your right hand, drop it back behind your right hip. Let your heels drop over, or your toes drop over, I should say, to the right. So your heels drop to the left, right? So my left toes are pointed to the right, my right toes are pointed to the right. And I'm just going to push into my right hand, push into my left foot, lift my hips up off the ground. Right? Now drop it all back down, get out. Take both hands up to the sky, reach up, lengthen out. Drop that left hand back behind you. Let both sets of toes go over to the left here. Right? Push into your right foot, push into your left palm. Lift your hips up off the mat. Right? So see how as I came up, your right foot was flat on the ground because I used it to push myself up. Right? So if you don't think you can get up, right? Don't try to come up on the edge of your opposite foot, right? And press that foot into the ground. All right? So we're gonna do that 3 more times each way. We're dropping the right hand back behind us, dropping the heels over to the right, or his heels, I mean toes, over to the right, and then pushing that right hand, pushing that left foot, lift yourself up. Drop it all down, take your hands up, lengthen out in between, that's important, right? Left hand comes back behind you, toes go to the left, lift up. Drop it all down, lengthen out, 1 more time each way, to the right, hand, point the toes, lift up, come back down, reach up, last time, right, hand comes down, toes go to the left, bring yourself up, and drop it, put it down, reach up. As you come up here, just let your hands come down to the center, walk yourself out here, give yourself a nice little stretch. We opened up our legs a lot today, so legs should have been ready to stay in that position and lift you up and down. They weren't, and you've been in knee, it's okay. All right, now we're gonna come back up here. Now you're gonna bring your legs together. Right, we're gonna bend into our knees. So you're gonna curl up here into a tight little ball. Right, I'm gonna move forward here so you guys can see. Go back down. All right, so what I'm gonna do here, right, I'm gonna take my hands all the way around the shins. Your feet nice and close together. You're gonna tuck your chin to your chest, your forehead goes towards your knees. And then you wanna rock back so your feet lift up off the ground. See, my feet are off the ground. You're curled into this tight little ball, but your core is working as you lift your feet. All right, so we're gonna go Bommy to canoe here. Most of you are familiar with that, right? But I want you to think about this. You've gotta get all the way back into this Bommy position when we come up, right? Too often when we come up, right, we come back up into this position and we just go back here and we're like, okay, Bommy, right? No, Bommy, you gotta pull it all the way in, tuck the chin, really round it out. That's how you're getting something out of it, all right? Now we're gonna go to canoe. In canoe, release the hands, you take the legs out long, hover the heels to the ground as much as you can, hover your head and shoulders. So I'm in a low canoe here. I could be in high canoe with my feet higher, right? And that makes it easier. You can do that, your head and shoulders are still lifted. I don't know if you guys can see me. My head and shoulders still off the ground, either it's high canoe or the low canoe, right? Now you pull it all the way back to mommy. So you gotta come up, right? So it's not just here. This is not your mommy. You've got to bring it all the way in. Curl in. All right, so let's do that. Let's see if we can do that. Let's do it 5 more times. All right, so we're in mommy. We take it to canoe. We'll bring it all the way back to mommy. Curl in, tuck the chin, round out. Back to canoe. Mommy. To canoe. We're going to do it 3 more times. Mommy. Canoe. Mommy. Canoe. Last one. Mommy. All the way. Bring it back to canoe. If you can just hold your canoe. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Let your heels drop, let your shoulders drop. Reach your arms up overhead, reach your fingertips towards the back of the room, point your toes, like as a tip of a pencil towards the front of the room. Right? We're gonna do our roll-ups right from here because we're in this perfect position for them. Right? So, basic roll-up. You peel your head and shoulders up off the mat. Keep your heels on the ground, all the way up, and then you move forward, just making that C curve with your spine. Maybe you touch your toes, maybe you don't. Right? Come back up, round all the way back down. Right? That's a straight up roll up. If you can do that with your heels staying on the ground, do that. Right? If you end up looking like this, and you're trying to come up, and it has to be a little swim on the way up to get all the way up. Right? That's just using your hands and legs to get yourself up, not your core. So we don't want that. So if that's what's happening to you, do the dead bug instead. The dead bug, you take 1 foot up, you take both feet up, you reach up towards your toes, because your hands are reaching towards your toes, and then you roll up in that shape, bring it to the C curve, right? So that's an option too. I want you to do 10. You're doing the straight ups like this. My heels stay on the ground. They're sliding up and down, or they're sliding, I shouldn't say up and down. They're sliding back and forth on my mat, but they're not coming off. Right? That's your straight up roll up. If you can't do it without your heels coming up off the mat, then you do the dead bug, 1 foot up, both feet up, roll up. All right? Let's do 5 more here, whatever version you're doing. I'm going to do 2 more. Last one. Coming all the way down. All right, now, come down here. We're going to come back to our floating table. And go to the side here so you guys can see. And so coming back right to floating table. Take your hands to your sides. Right? If you want to lift your head and shoulders here, you can lift your head and shoulders. Right? So we're going to do our little heel taps. We're going to alternate sides at first. So you're going to keep this L shape in your leg that you have in the floating table. Your legs in the floating table, your legs are in perfect L. They're going to stay in that L. You're not going to drop your heel down to your glute, and you're not going to extend your leg. Right? You're just going to move right at the hip right here. Your heel comes to the ground. Right? Your right heel comes to the ground. My right leg still in a perfect L. My left leg still in a perfect L. I'm going to give my right foot a little tap tap, exhaling out through the mouth as you do it. So it's as you tap the foot. Then as you inhale, you pull the leg back up, right? Same on the right leg, on the left leg. Take it, little tap, tap. Inhale, pull it back up. Just alternate your legs here. Tap, tap, pull it up. Tap, tap, pull it up. You can let your head come down if you need to. That's what I just did. It's feeling a little strained. You gotta keep your shoulders and your fingertips elevated. Still engage in the core. Let's do 3 more on each side. 3, 3, 2. Last one. 1. shoulders come down, pull the knees all the way in, take a little break here. We're gonna do that again, but this time we're gonna do both legs together. All right, so take it back, step floating table. Flex your feet. All right, so knees right over the hips, calves parallel to the ground. Pull your head and shoulders up. All right, now if you want to let your head come down, let your head come down. If you want to make a Pilates V with your feet, you can do that. That means your heels come together, toes go to the sides, your feet are making that little V. Right? It feels better to keep your feet parallel and keep your feet parallel. A little bit harder here, right? You're dropping your heels all the way to the ground, giving them that tap tap. If you can't get all the way to the ground, really arching your back so that your shoulders start to lift off the mat, right? Then don't do that, right? You can come halfway down, you can come 3/4 of the way down, whatever works, right? You give it that tap tap, and then you pull your legs back to floating table. All right, let's do that 8 more times. 8. 7, 6, 5, 3, all the way up. Let your head and shoulders come back down. All right, take your hands to crease your knees. Rock yourself up to see it, all right? We got one more little plank sequence, and then we'll stretch it out. We're gonna come into a full plank here. See if this works. Right? So try to come into a full plank. I promise you don't stay right here very long, right? But you want your shoulders right over your wrists, your hips just below your shoulders, right? Now, we're gonna drop down to our left knee here, right? Your right leg is still long, you just drop that left knee, left hip's right over the left knee. Kick your left foot out to the left, right? Drop your right heel to the ground. And then take your right hand up to the sky. Right? So we're here in this modified side plank. Now, if you want to take this, you're feeling really strong today, and you want to skip the drop in the knee part and take it to a full side plank each time, you're welcome to do that. Right? I'm going to keep my knee down, but you're going to take those right fingertips now, dive them underneath, reach them underneath your left armpit. This is my right fingertips going underneath the armpit. Open it back up. Do it twice more. Dive it. Open it up. Really dive, get into those obliques. Open it up. Now, as you come back here, you're going to bring that right hand back down, turn your right toes forward, step it back into a full plank. Right? So you don't have to do the full side planks, but I want you to come to this full plank in between each time, right? Now we're going to drop the right knee. So same thing, right hips right over the right knee. You want your right hand kind of even with your right knee, right shoulder right over your right wrist. That right foot's going to kick just a little bit to the right. That gives you that kickstand. Drop your left heel to the ground. Your left heel should be in line with your right knee and your right wrist, right? Then that left hand comes all the way up to the sky or opening up. Okay? If you want to make this a full side plank, make it a full side plank. But take those left fingertips, dive them underneath your right armpit. Move back up. Do it twice more. Under. Open up. Under. Open up. Now take it back to your full plank. Okay. And we're going to do that just a couple more times on each side. So we start, we drop the left knee, we kick the left foot to the left, we drop the right heel. Lead the right hand up to the sky. And under, open back up. Dive under, open back up. Do it one more time. Dive under, open back up. Drop it all back down into your full plank. Right, and then do the other side. You drop that right knee or keep it up. Okay, keep that right foot out, drop that left heel, get everything in line, reach the left hand up to the sky. We're going to dive under 3 times. 3, 2, 1. Up. Drop it all back down into your full plank. All right, one more time on each side. Drop that left knee, kick it to the left, the right heel, sweep the right hand up to the sky. 3, 2, and 1. Get all the way back up. Drop that left hand, or that right hand, sorry. Come back to full plank. And then last time we're going to do that on the right side. Drop your right knee, right foot out, drop the left heel, the left hand up to the side. 3 dives. 3, 2, and 1. Right now, you're gonna come back down, take it back to your full plank. One last time. You just hold for 3 breaths. Drop your knees here if you absolutely have to. See if you can hold it. You're stronger than you think. One more breath. Now we're all gonna drop our knees. Now what you're gonna do here, so you're dropping your knees, you're gonna push away from the mat with both hands. You're gonna bring yourself up to a high kneel. Right now, from your high kneel, take your hands, they're gonna come back behind your back, right? So I'm gonna turn here so you guys can see, right? I'm putting my fingers right on my low back. I'm putting the base of my palms right on my low back. Your fingertips are on my glutes, are going towards my glutes. Right? You're gonna pull your shoulder blades together, right? And then push the base of your palms into your hips shift forward. Take your chest, your gaze up towards the sky. So you're in this camel here, right? A little back bend. Now, maybe you wanna make it more. You can tuck your toes under, with your hands down, they reach toward your heels, right? Maybe you can get there. Maybe you can do this without tucking your toes under. I can't, right? Back's not that strong. Wherever you are, you're here, or you're here, or you've got those toes, you've got those feet flat. Take 3 more breaths. And we're gonna come all the way back up, nice and slow from wherever you are. Reach your hands up to the sky, and then from there, drop your hips down to your heels, dive your hands forward, come to child's pose, and let that low back release. Now when you're ready, come back up to tabletop. Let your hips come to one side or the other. We're gonna finish up here with our little deer stretch sequence, right? So bring your legs around in front of you. Take your right foot to the left front edge of your mat. Lean to the right so your right knee comes down to the ground. And you're gonna take that left knee, bring that left knee to the inside of the right foot, right? So this is your deer position. Now from here, you're gonna take your right forearm, drop it to the ground outside your right thigh. Take your left hand straight up to the sky and reach these left fingertips over towards the right side of the room. Doing that long line in your left side body, opening up that left side body. Take a breath here. And then you're gonna turn your chest towards your right forearm, right? Keep your your left bicep by your left ear. Over a little bit here so I'm not hitting everything. All right. And then you're reaching, so you're not dropping that hand down, right? But it's just still coming along your ear. You've just turned your chest to the right forearm, so you feel it a little differently. And then from there, you're gonna push into your right hand, bring yourself all the way back up. Now both arms are going up overhead. Right? Now here, you're gonna take your left hand, drop it down outside your left ankle, right? You probably can't get down to your forearms here, so we're not gonna try that, right? You're just putting your fingertips or your palm outside your left ankle and just move it to the other side. Just reach that right arm across it first. And from there, we're gonna take that little turn here. So you're turning your chest towards your left thigh. Again, you're keeping your right bicep back the right ear. It's that coming down here. It's not right. Just coming around so you feel it here all the way down. A little twist to the spine. Take 2 breaths here. And then untwist from both hands all the way up. Now drop your hands down in front of your right shin. You're gonna walk it out. You walk out into your basic gear. That just means you're walking your hands forward. Your hands are in between your right ankle and your right knee. If you can drop down to your elbows, keep that right Maybe you drop all the way down to your chest and your head. I'm going to give you guys the option today. If you know full pigeon, and you want to take this to pigeon, get a deeper stretch in the hips. You can, right? In pigeon, you would kick that left leg all the way straight. Let your right hip lift up off the mat. And then I'm dropping my left hip towards my right heel. My right hip is way up off the ground, right? So you're not leaning to the right if you're in pigeon. You're leaning to the left. It gives a deeper stretch in the right hip. Now you don't have to do that, right? You can stay right here in deer like we usually do. Take 3 breaths. And eventually, you're going to bring it all the way up, right? And we're going to switch and do the other side, right? So you lean to the right, so you can bring that left leg around in front of you, unthread that right leg, bring the left foot over to the right edge of your mat, lean way over to the left, so that left knee comes to the ground, knee around, so the right knee comes against the sole of the left foot, right? So same thing here, you're going to start with your left arm this time. Just let that forearm come to the ground outside your left thigh. Take your right hand up to the sky, and then reach your right fingertips towards the left side of the room, bicep going right over the ear. Couple breaths here. And then take that turn, point your chest towards your left forearm, keeping the right bicep by the right ear. Keep reaching those right fingertips straight towards the left side of the room. And you're going to push into your left hand, bring it all. Right, and then let's go the other way. You're going to take your right hand, drop it outside your right ankle, reach that left hand up and over. Right? Full press here. And turn your chest completely towards your left thigh, or towards the right thigh, sorry. So you're still bringing that left arm by the left ear. So dropping down, going back behind that stretch. Bring everything back up here. Last thing, towards the front. Drop them straight down. Front. You can walk it out to deer. Keep your hands between that left knee and the left ankle. Right? Or if you want full pigeon, so that is option. Right leg extend all the way, and then pick your left hip up off the mat. Drop your right hip towards your left heel. Being full pigeon. Here, right, keep that left hip down. And deer, if that's better. And you're ready here. Bring it all the way up. All right, and let's finish off with our legs at the wall or waterfall. Take our last minute for that. So in that, you lay down on your back. I'm going to show you, right? If all you've got is your mat, then you're just laying down on your mat. Then you take your feet up to the sky, flexing like they're going to step on the ceiling. Keep your hands at your sides. Great inversion right here. And the blood flow from the feet, work tools all day. And the heart, we need it more. If you have the wall space and you want it, bring your hips all the way so you're sideways to the wall where you're going to go, right? One hip or the other is against that wall. Twist yourself towards the head of your legs. The wall is usually down your back. Then you got to scooch forward, right? So that your glutes come right up against the edge of that wall. And all of your leg is on the wall. Same thing here, right? You just have that support. It's really amazing. If you don't like that, it's too hard to get into, you don't have a wall, then waterfall in the center. Also get those inversion benefits, that increased circulation I talked about, naturally lower blood pressure, flooding the body with those anti-aging, anti-stress hormones. And when we're ready to come out of this, we're all going to come out of it the same way. Bend your knees. Scrape right along your face and body. Slowly drop your feet back toward the mat. If you're on the wall, your feet just come to the wall. Right, so your feet are pressing against the wall. And then everybody just rolls to one side or the other. We bring ourselves up to seated. That's our Pilates for today. Let's go back here.
Thank you, Paula.